Alright, so this we show the watch. Present the photo of the watch. That's enough, witness! I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeney likes to take for his coat. He likes to take it? He likes to take it? It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Fey? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Ah! Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order in the court. What's this all about? This is nonsense. The real murderer. Even you can't deny that the time between the cable break and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client has left the scene. There was a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Fey, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer? It's finally time! This is the moment I've been waiting for! Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fey. Now then, Miss Fey, let's have it. Who is the real killer? Prepare to be exposed! It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne! Wah! How? How can you? The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the man dearest to you. Order! Miss Fey! What? I mean, why? That is to say... Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day, however... After Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. Ah! Exposed! How can you say something so mean, Madam Fey? I didn't do anything. Miss Fey, this is a very serious charge you are. Your Honor! Oh, get out of here, Phoenix. Please, I have something I want to say. You! What is it? Please, please strike everything the defense said just now from the record. Get out of here, Phoenix. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Fey. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Really, Phoenix? Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Ah! Leave my dolly alone. That boy. He's gotten himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. It seems I arrived just in the nick of time. I found a police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Police report added to the court record. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. What were you hoping for? Location District Courthouse Cafeteria, 4 p.m. August 27. Victim Diego Armando. Lawyer, suspect Dahlia Hawthorne. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. Yeah, it's the necklace. Right. Right. You'd better take a good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Oh, Amanda's her boyfriend? Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor, that is I. May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Ah, don't you worry, my dear. I have this situation well in hand. No, he doesn't. Sniffo. That is I. Go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Okay. Doug? Swallow. Swallow was telling Phoenix how she's poisoned someone. And the reason he knows is because he's the one who made the poison for her. He's the pharmacologist student. He made the poison, gave it to her, she killed someone with it. And then I guess he ended the relationship with her over it. And now he tried to tell Phoenix, but Phoenix palm striked him, kung fu palm striked him in the chest. And then she killed him to stop him from spilling her secrets. Okay, I get it. I figured it out. This is actually really good, right? Like previously in the last game, I was complaining a lot about the cases in that game. This is actually much better written. Like, it's a proper plot twist. I've been saying this before, like, what's a good plot twist? A plot twist is, or a good plot twist is, you have all the information tells a story, but then when the plot twist happens, you discover another piece of evidence, and it changes how you interpret all the previous stuff, and it adds new information. It turns it into a different story. So you don't introduce new stuff out of nowhere. It's stuff that you've already seen so far, but you unlock the meaning behind what you've seen previously with the plot twist. So this is what this is. It's really good. Unlike the last game, where like you just do stuff that really don't go anywhere and don't make any difference, and then the game just gives you something new, and then you do the new thing, and then the old stuff just doesn't matter. So this is much better. I appreciate this. I do. I appreciate this is much better writing than before. Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Weep. Ugh, sorry. Please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident happened in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, has a very good reason. Very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. How I met my Feeny. When I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Wait, you literally make people sick? She's been poisoning people all around you? Mr. Wright, do that again and you'll be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. Wait, wait a minute. This is not the right context for that, Grossberg. Also, ask for her consent before you get her. Otherwise it's called rape. How I met my Feeny. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. So until that time you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself. You should be. No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Oh ho 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 ho. Maybe you should look for a different line of work. Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict, does he? Does he? That's why some people also call him the Great Judgini. Does he always hand down the right verdict? It's like we were destined to meet in those very courtroom's basement reading room. The courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case. Miss Faye, I'm warning you, if this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case. I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I'd better tread carefully. Keep pressing! Your Honor, if you allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well, young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. You were writing a paper? On what? On the relationship between modern Sinryu poetry and the criminal underworld. Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea. Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff. Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my lady, so be sure to read it carefully. Alright, bro. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? Heart malfunction. In my personal opinion, he looks just like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeny is handsome. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen. You tell her, Mia. You tell her about her taste in men. Love is a mysterious thing and I object to this line of questioning. You're a dime a dozen. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked. He's telling the truth. It was truly, truly shocking. Beautiful mushroom, growing tall in the darkness. It comes from cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeny. Cow dung? He's cow dung? Oh, he's got a tall mushroom. Okay, I get it. I get it. Phoenix Wright has a massive mushroom. I was a little bit slow, but I understand. Okay, I get it, Dahlia, I get it. But how did you know he has a massive mushroom when you first saw him? When you first saw him, was his pants down? How would you see his mushroom when you first met him? How would you know? Anyway, we've been going out ever since that fateful day. Were there any bad feelings between you and Mr. Swallow? No, none at all. We parted on very good terms. But that can't be! Our investigation also shows that it was a clean breakup. Huh, are you sure? Yes, it seems that they both wanted it that way. So the victim wanted to break up with her. So you're saying that Mr. Swallow also wanted to break up with you? Well, you see. What a cruel thing to ask a lovely young lady like this. We'll ask her about his mushroom. Is Doug's mushroom smaller than Phoenix's? By the way, I have never once considered leaving my wife. Yeah, because you wouldn't find anyone else at your age. No one cares, Mr. Payne. She didn't deny it. That must mean Doug Swallow must have seen through her little act. He must have gotten a glimpse of her true nature. Listen to me, Mia. That woman has the judge in the palm of her hand, you see. So the only way to discredit her is to find a contradiction in her testimony. Alright, let me save here. I think I present this here. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Fay? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. Nani? Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, that's a bit on the nose. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order! This is unbelievable! It's true then, the loveliest rose can hide the sharpest thorn. Miss Fay, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Pardon me, go right ahead. It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I just got to stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. Oh, you've really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. Please don't talk about your buttocks, Grossberg. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. Please see a doctor about your hemorrhoids, Grossberg. The poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Okay. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you've heard from the witness testimony, she has nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeves today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. Ah! What the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? This isn't even her final form! Aha, Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. I mean, my lady. That proud stature and self-confidence, absolutely smashing. I get it wrong every time because I actually can't say my lady naturally. It doesn't come to me. I keep trying to make the joke that Grossberg is calling her my lady, but I miss it every time. Because it just doesn't. I just don't do that. I just don't do that to people. The poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. What were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential. According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case. The lawyer that was killed. He said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all what that incident was? That has absolutely nothing at all to do with this case. She's a serial murderer. Objection sustained. The defense's question is stricken from the record. You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. You're a bad sign. Don't worry, Dolly, I'll protect you. You heard the man. Now that's true love, young lady. Oh, Feeny, please. Gag. Those two really are making me ill. Albeit for decidedly different reasons. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. How long were you gone? I've already answered all these questions for the police. But if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes. And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet? What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet? My perfect little dolly doesn't poop. You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time. Oh, Feeny, please. The police have already looked into this whole matter. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time. Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with the testimony. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. How would you know? About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons? Well, let me see. My bottle of eye drop says it's half fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. So it's about 2/3 of that amount, huh? The poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. How did you know? A special kind of poison? How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect. Oh? And where would something like that come from? I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it. Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive. The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that from Swallow? So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison? I think that's a good enough reason, Madam Faye. She's right, and I think we've all had enough of Miss Faye's questions. So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison. It's so obvious. Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now just how did a lit student get a hold of poison of all things? Present your ex-boyfriend. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you! What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab! Boyfriend? You mean the victim Doug Swallow? That's right, up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such poison after all. And then, it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table. You! Ah! Order! Could it be? That's nothing but a baseless... May I say something, Madam Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. But they didn't find a suspicious container anyway, did they? She's right. This is so obvious. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof! She got me good with that. Provide some evidence or I have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. Okay, come on, I know, guys. The police conducted a full body search of Dahlia and of the entire courthouse. Wait, they did full body searches of the entire courthouse? This sentence construction is curious. They searched the full body of the entire courthouse. And yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present. What? But that's... that's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. Nani? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there is no longer any poison in the bottle. However, I am certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. Ah! Order in the court. On behalf of Dolly, I object. Good try, Phoenix. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. I mean, okay, you have a big mushroom, but what does she have? Tell us what she has. Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Oh snap! Hitting him with that hard logic. Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Take his heart and crush it to little pieces, Mia. Yes! Yeah! Destroy his hopes and dreams. Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is... to keep you quiet? Because of that necklace. It's because of that necklace. I think it's because of the necklace. It could also be to keep him quiet. I think it's because of the necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. Please give it back now. So funny. Please give it back now. Absolute hilarity. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. Incredible. She keeps asking you, and you keep not giving it back to her. That's really good. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... I don't believe you. No, that's a lie. Where?